Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun. However, we are not going to be writing a game today. We're going to be looking at a very specific game called Sigmata, The Signal Kills Fascists. Now, I've been debating on doing this for a while now, but haven't had the, hi dog, I haven't had the gumption, one might say, to actually do it. Because Sigmata is an odd game for a few reasons. But I think the key reason is that I have a little bit of history with the writer. Here, give me 1 second. I'll bring him up here. Mr. Chad Walker here. I have a little bit of a history with him. Now, for complete transparency's sake, I will say my history with him is not positive. I've got into an argument with him on his Discord. I've been banned from his Discord. I do not like the man. I think he is generally a person who's not terribly nice to anyone who disagrees with him on his opinions, and he refuses to deal with anyone, and he also attempted to dox me. We don't talk about the doxing part because that's a no-no, and while I could tell the full story, I just want to get that out of the way. However, I also want to get the idea that, how do I word this properly? The product should not be held at gunpoint by the creator. Because unfortunately, this game is. That's to some degree. Sigmata is fundamentally tied to... Oh, Jesus. Tied to Chad and his peculiarities. Is that a good thing? Some may say so. Is that a bad thing? Some may say so. However, my philosophy going forward is very simple. Believe what you want to believe. You want to die on some hill? Cool. If you want to talk about how great communism is, or you want to fight tooth and nail for radical anarcho-fascism, cool. That's you. You do you. Fight your own fight. Believe what you believe in. I'm not going to hold any political opinions any different way. There's a reason I say I'm a radical anarcho-monarchist with syndicalist Mormon values, because it doesn't mean anything. Politically speaking, it's throwing it at the dartboard and making funny noises. That's on purpose. I mean to do that, because I don't want to be beholden to anything. Sigmata's not that easy, though, because Sigmata is kind of a political game on its face, more and more ways than one, and I think that does a disservice to it. So, I try to actually make this a little bit more formal than I usually do. Usually I just go in there and start making fun of them. However, I wanted to be a little bit more organized with this. You know, organized Notepad. You can laugh now, don't worry. So I've got some points that I want to go over, and my thesis for Sigmata, the Signal Kills Fascists, kind of at the core of the idea is it's a bundle of interesting ideals held together by the incessant desire to make itself politically relevant. It refuses to commit to any side of the narrative mechanical implications of its rules, making it confused and generally a pain to navigate. What do I mean by this? Sigmata is a game of 4 parts. It is an insurgency simulator. It is a superhero game. It is a light narrativist game. It is also a heavy mechanical game. It is all 4 of those at once, and it doesn't do any of them justice. And that's a shame, because there's actually some cool bits to this game. I think that's like one of the most painful parts of it. One of the parts that hurts me the most is that there are bits and pieces that I enjoy. There are parts of this game I want to love, but I can't because it keeps hurting me. It is unfortunately the child of an abusive father almost that keeps demanding it be a different way. Now, its sequel, or second edition, also errata, Repeat the Signal, this is possibly the least good faith expansion I've ever seen. Like, this is like, if you've ever come across anything, this is like the worst example of anything known to human history when it comes to game design, because it's an errata that you pay for to actually play the game the way it's meant to be played. We'll go over that in a bit, but to give a broad overview of Sigmata here, I'm actually going to bring up the Kickstarter, because yes, this was a Kickstarter game. And that always seems to preface a lot of these games, doesn't it? It being a overfunded Kickstarter that doesn't deliver. It never does deliver as much as you hope it would, does it? Now, the best way to say it is that in the tragic future of the 1980s, apparently McCarthyism never really died out, and that means a fascist government has taken over the United States called the Freedom Fist. Freedom Fist is exactly what you think they are. They look infinitely cooler than everyone else because they're effectively stormtroopers and called a part of the regime, and they attempted to make super soldiers. Do you see this? Yeah, you play these guys. Now you may be wondering, wow, that looks pretty cool. And once you get to the mechanics, you're going to realize this isn't what you actually play. This is not what you play. This is not the game that you're actually playing right here. It's an inherently political game, and it says it right here. Is this game political? Yeah. What is an ethical insurgency? An ethical insurgency doesn't fucking exist. Well, I'll get to that. Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, no, he's very Chad is a very interesting human being, but we're not going to worry about him as much as we're going to worry about the game and the mechanics in general. But just to give you the background to it, it's 1986. And you will realize that the writer, Mr. Walker, fucking loves the 80s. But not in, like, the good way. Like the, I'm going to fetishize the 80s kind of way, which is like, oof. Oof. Fetishizing the 80s, you do you. I mean, that's been a thing that's been going for a while. However, people have paid, let's see the absolute highest people have paid for. Oh no, okay, so this is $3,000 or more, 0 people, good. Let's see, okay, 0 backers there. Okay, the highest is 207, 5 hardcovers, 176 soft covers, premium colors, so pretty extensive. So if I look at Sigmata, the Signal Kills Fascists at drive-through, not that. Let's go to the Land of Nop. Land of Nop is actually his company. This is his, kind of his child right here, Cryptomancer. We'll get to that in a minute. Here is Airlock, which he used funds from Sigmata to make. And finally, Sigmata, the Signal Kills Fascists. Now, to get the absolute cheapest version of this game is actually $20, and this is actually a reduced amount from what it was originally, which was, I believe, $30. So it's like, okay, cool, that's fine. $20 for a full PDF, 300 pages. Yeah, cool. You know, it's, again, this is not a small game. It's 331 pages, 6x9, mind you. But don't worry, I mean, it's a PDF. It's supposed to not be very huge. Yeah, Chad, as you can kind of see, is kind of what we like to call a kind of an asshole. But don't worry, no, we're not talking about that. But you may also wonder what the hell is Repeat the Signal, because that's what we're going over. We're going over that and Repeat the Signal. Repeat the Signal is the second edition. Upgrading it to second edition. So you need to pay $15 as well as the original $20 to actually play the game that is promised. You're not playing Sigmata, the Signal Kills Fascists. You're playing Sigmata, Repeat the Signal. And once we get to that, you'll realize that these are two very different games that you need to have one to play the other. It's trying to pull the Voltron thing. Yeah, let's see. Oh, it's a hacker game. Yeah, this is his child, by the way. By the by, this is his best thing. This is what he loves more than anything. Here's Airlock. Uh, yeah. Built on the chassis of Sigmata, the signal kills faster than the standalone game. You will see that a lot. He also has another game called, let me see, Bombs and Balaclavas. Yeah, he also has this game, which is Bombs and Balaclavas, which is by him as well, which is about exactly what you fucking think about a regular warfare. However, anyone worth a brain can probably understand that calling your game Bombs and Balaclavas possibly isn't the smartest thing in the whole world to understand, but don't worry, this is fine, because Revolution is good. Now, you also may see, dun, 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 this is not going to be like Sigmata, because this is not actually... Wait, he's Patreon? Tell me he's got a Patreon. Wait a sec. Oh, no, that's not... That's a no-no. Journalism with Popular Front. Oh no. Okay, so he's... Okay, so he's inadvertently... Okay, so this is his... And this is in... Independent conflict journalism. Alright, you know, that's fine. Cool. I mean, this is all Chad's thing. This is... I'm trying not to bring him up as much. But this is literally entirely his thing, and you will quickly learn... yeah, welcome to the entirety of Sigmata. This is the game you're actually going to be playing. But we'll get to that in a minute. Go away, go away. I said go away. God, go. But Sigmata also has these, the stretch goals. Now, when I usually go over games on Kickstarter, I like to go over the stretch goals because that usually determines what people actually were caring about, whether or not it was directly or indirectly. And it's important to go over these things, because if you don't go over them, you kind of don't know where the money went. Now, Black Snake Rebellion by Ichika Richard never happened. Cable Street by Michael Trunin never happened. The Complex by Shay Roberts never happened. Missing Women of India never happened. Chromewall never happened. Battle for Walgrad never happened. Sigmata FM by Irving Force. Okay, that has to exist, right? Sigmata FM. All right, cool. Let's. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 songs. So that was a 30 grand for 6 songs, and that's what you get. That's your lot. Repeat the signal. Yeah, and you'll see here companion book to Sigmata. Companion book. Let me just reiterate. This is a companion book. It is not. It's a second edition errata. A compilation of all stretch goals for alternate settings. Not guidebook for creating your own Sigmata setting based on real people's struggle, historical, current, something entirely fictional. Not quite. Not quite there. And opted for stretch goal PDF plus. Will not get this book in PDF format. Printed cost. And we never got here. Thank God, because it would probably be another book that never happened. Now you may be wondering what happened to all this money. So 40 grand out of a 9,000 goal, so that's $31,000 over. There are 3 things that could have occurred with this money. The first major thing that could have occurred is that Chad pocketed it. Simple as. Chad put whatever money that wasn't used and put it in his wallet, and it's done. Because looking throughout, you'll find that a lot of these, let me see if I can't find, that they just never occurred. Update. Let me see. Status stretch goals. Let's see. Art has been ordered. I've felt some content, which was great. None of delivered on anything. This has been a year ago. So, yeah. You get some weird ones because you get things like this is a year ago. So we can assume that at least some money went to these books that never panned out. Did the writers get paid? Probably not, because they never delivered on anything. If you're not getting anything, you're not going to pay anyone. This is a year ago. Now, you never know. Maybe something came out. But we also have to deal with the complex issue of he already released a second edition to this game that he didn't do the Kickstarter for, but he did indirectly, because remember, Repeat the Signal was a stretch goal, $30,000 stretch goal. And it does also have artwork on it. So you may be wondering, Notepad. Isn't airlock on in this? Wait a second. Airlock was a side system. It was $10. Now, I don't have access to airlock. Well, let's see if I do have access to airlock RPG. We also have Reclaimer, and Reclaimer is another weird one. I'll get to that in a second. So, no, it doesn't look like anyone's uploaded that at all. But Airlock is a game that he made with it. Bombs and Balaclavas is a game that he made on that dime. Hello, Sachiko. We are going over Sigmata, The Signal Kills Fascists, a Kickstarter game in 2018 that is an interesting duck, as you can probably tell by the name. And right now I'm going over Mr. Chad Walker, the writer's other works, which he may or may not have used the Kickstarter money to actually fund. Which is odd because, as stated previously, all of these... all of these stretch goals, except 2, have not actually been success. None of these have been fulfilled. And if there's ever one thing that's kind of an issue with good old Chad here, is that he is never really... Oh, yeah, he also likes to call himself a propagandist, which I am not a huge fan of. Now, Chad is also a little bit weird when it comes to money, because if we go to his thing right here, Chad Walker, let's see, he's created 2 games, and wait, Reclaimer, about eco-insurrection, huh? Wonder what happened to Reclaimer. Very odd. Reclaimer made its money. All of its money. 657 backers. Cancelled October 20th in 2019. Let's see what we can find. Let me see. So this is 3 months ago. Relaunch. Oh, okay. Looks like he's going to want to relaunch this soon. Yeah, he's going to want to probably relaunch this in 2021. I would go there, but it's Facey space. And the last thing I want to subject all you all is to Facey space. But, yeah, this is a eco-insurrection. If you can't quite tell Chad's fascination with coin, you will quickly learn that he does love gunning down the government, sticking it to the man. Whether that's your jam, again, I don't really know, nor do I really care about if you want to shoot government agents. I just want to say, don't do it. It's bad. Unless you're willing to get shot. So, yeah, Airlock was in-house. All of these... it's... let me see... Yeah, no, it's... Sigmata was a game made for his people and his people alone. Repeat the Signal was supposed to be better. It was supposed to be it too, the second edition, but it never quite was. Now, if you see here, Sigmata's a gold seller, while Repeat the Signal was only a silver seller. So you do fundamentally know there have been more people who bought Sigmata than there have been the actual second edition to make the game playable, in addition to everything else. So... But you all didn't come here to listen to me rant about Chad Walker. Absolutely not. Why would you? For God's sakes, the man is insane. and has generally a personality fit for slugs, but we're right now going to delve into one very important thing: the book itself. So, let me just see if everything looks all right. Yeah. Okay, so Sigmata, this signal kills fascists. If we, oh god, no, please stop breaking. Also, we have all our Kickstarter. Well, also, he thanks our RPG, which is sad because our RPG sucks. Let's see, all these other wonderful people. We could probably go and try to find all of these people. Also, you'll realize quickly he likes speaking in this language, comrades in arms. But let's go down. Also, does he have an entire section dedicated to the reading you're supposed to find? Yes, he does have an entire thing here about the game, about radio-powered cyborg revolutionaries. But don't worry, guys. I want you to make an abundant point here real fast. I just want to let's see. Oh yeah, trust me. I've known about this game for about 2 years now, and it's always been my very odd little thing. So let me find out where my favorite line in this. Let me see. Wonder if I can find. Also, here is him. Kickstarter exposed me as acute moment validation vindication as an artist, activist, educator, and my favorite word, propagandist. Our boy actively has said he is a propagandist, which he is. And again, nothing wrong with propaganda, but you don't call it propaganda. Unfortunately, he's still making games. Oh, we're showing the spicy chapter covers. Of course we are. Luckily, we haven't hit 50 yet. So we're not real boys yet. So Twitch usually shouldn't mind. Getting this uploaded to YouTube is going to be fun, but that's its own. Let me see. I need to find. Ah, yes, Reclaim It. Sigmata is not and never was a power fantasy game about vigilante superheroes using their abilities to achieve social justice outcomes. I want you to remember this line. It is not and never was a power fantasy game. Alright, let's get to the power fantasy. So, yeah, he also likes to put this. His philosophy kind of boils down to. I've read a little bit on how Chad thinks. Chad thinks that everything that is current is bad. If you want to, and we have to fight against evil people. Evil people do evil things, but we have to be good. It's a very odd thing. Now, you may be wondering, all right, let's get into it. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to start off at the first time we see mechanics in this game. Page 78. You may be wondering, wow, Notepad, that was a huge jump. Yeah, here's some of the artwork. Also, you see this? This is not what you don't think this is what you do. It's not. Yeah, because every single thing up here is lore. Oh, that's a naughty one. Yeah, let's see. There's some glorious man-ass holding a flag. Also one of my favorite lines. Yeah, all of this is lore. Oh, the donk. Oh yeah, here's radical disco fascism, everyone. I mean, come on, just put some funky beats to it. We also have this one because, again, apparently Chad, during my conversations with Chad, he does honestly believe that all cops are vile, evil bastards that want to lock everyone that isn't a white, God-fearing American in internment camps. I actually told that to a black cop friend of mine, and he laughed his ass off. He's like, nah. But yeah, just remember that. Again, All of that, page 1 to 77, is literally lore. Not even particularly good. Again, as I went over it a little bit, it's like McCarthyism never stopped, which makes a lot of really weird situations that make no fucking, like, on the terms of like alt history, things that could have occurred. This is probably like on the scale of 1 to 10, like a -3 of like plausibility. I take giant robots over this. So Sigmata's systems work by, you have your core processors, your aggression, guile, judgment, and valor. They do exactly what you think they do, and they're ranked from 1 to 5, depending on whether or how many D10s or D6s you roll. We can skip all this, and pretty much he calls rolls ops, because again, I fucking love the 80s. Do you realize how much 80s is like infused in here? Because Chad's a boomer. Always roll 5 dice, and the goal is to get successes, and it's 6 up is a success. However, if you roll a 1, you botch. Now, you may be wondering, hey, Notepad, I'm pretty good on the math side of things. Seems pretty simple. All right, where's the rest of the meat? That's it. Welcome to the entire game. It is 3 pages of the entire game. I have officially told you how to play the entire game. It gets better in Repeat the Signal when she realizes that this is a terrible goddamn system. But we're not there yet. So, one of the things that makes it incredibly difficult to understand is that he has I wouldn't nearly call it a fetish, but a desire of this really structured form of play with scenes, and everything that is not an evasion scene where you're running away from someone, a combat scene, or a entry where you're like trying to talk to someone scene. If it's not one of those 3 things, it's nothing. It's you have to just free play and you just roll some dice and maybe it happens. Very narrativist. But for those scenes, there's like, you have to get the special sheet out and you got to track everything. If you go over the number, you have to reduce it. What I'm trying to get across here is that the entire game can be boiled down to increasing a bar or decreasing a bar. And you may be saying, oh, okay, Notepad. Here, let me roll up here real fast. I want to do that. What do I gotta roll? Roll your aggression. All right, Notepad. I want to shoot my gun. Roll your aggression. All right, Notepad. I want to crack a beer bottle. Roll your aggression. Do I get a bonus? No. What happens? His bar goes up by 2. All right, I've been shot in the chest with a gun. What happens? Your bar goes up by 3. Okay, I've been attacked by someone, by a tank. Your bar goes up by 5. Everything is relocated with the bars, and I'll get to that. I'm going to refer to them as tracks, but this is what the game is. It's an incredibly simplistic game, and we are on page 84, 331. So he also goes into the narrativist side of things. Now, narrativist games, I've talked about them before, is I actually like narrativist games sometimes, where the story takes precedence over the rules, and the rules are there to guide the story. I actually like those kind of games, and the main reason why I like those kind of games is because it really helps people get in the mood for things. It's like, all right, let's respect the rules. Let's, like, oh, okay, I want to tell a story with this. Oh, I rolled a 2, like, Apocalypse rolled a good example. I rolled a 12. I get to do something really cool, and I get to control that a little bit more. It's my story. I get to tell it. Sigmata subscribes to that philosophy for half of the things, and the other half it is, did you roll enough successes, and very granular, very 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, which is odd because it's completely at odds with one another. And you also get things like this. Chad wants you to play his game. Chad does not want you to play your own. Every single thing in this game is Chad's game. You don't want to play what Chad wants you to play, you're not playing it right. Try again. So, you also get a lot of these things where it's just like, let me teach you how to role play. It's like, okay, fine, cool. Then we get free play. Free play is the roll some dice, something might happen. We don't know, but something might happen. Here's combat again. All of this is controlled by a single roll. You want to go into cover? There's no such thing as the cover. You make a dice roll and you reduce your numbers down. Or, oh, I want to swing into action. I want to beat them to death with my assault rifle. Roll your dice and you increase their track by 2. Everything is built on that, and it sucks. And this is kind of sums up the game. Players are trying to neutralize threats by increasing their exposure to 10 in order to knock them out of the scene. Trying to increase the receiver's exposure to 10 to knock them out of the scene. That's it. Every single thing in this game can be reduced down to that. Hi, phone. What do you need? And let me just put do not disturb on. So do not disturb. And you also get things like this, like, oh no, like can strip, like you get all these different options for combat, but again, every single thing always boils down to increase X, decrease X. That's it. Like, oh, regroup judgment, decrease your own exposure. Continuously increase threats exposure. Decrease ally exposure. Recklessly increase the threat's exposure. Everything is based off of these things. This is all that happens. You raise a bar, you lower a bar. Now, here's the odd thing. That's fine for a narrativist game. It's fine. That's even encouraged. I like that system. This was a narrativist game where you just have to increase, decrease, and that's cool. That's actually pretty interesting because you get some fascinating bits and pieces with that. You clearly see what you need to do, and you're looking around and you're like, oh, I need to do this. Okay. However, you're going to realize that in my notes here, mechanics go on for another 75 pages. And everything has different ordnance. What does a grenade do? What does a gunship do? What does a jammer unit do? What does a machine gun do? What does rocket propelled? All of these things have different rules, have different ideas behind them. And here's what the combat sheet looks like. This is what it is. What I'm trying to get across here more than anything is that this game is at odds with itself. It wants to be this narrativist, fun, happy-go-lucky adventure. It also wants to be this like hardcore, like actual game with like crunchy mechanics. It's trying to be crunchy and narrativist at the same time, and that usually doesn't work very well. Because in a narrativist game, I want to lean back a little bit. I want to say, all right, we got some dudes. How do we deal with the dudes? Well, I'm going to, take control of the narrative. I'm going to beat a bottle over his head. Like, oh, well, that takes out one guy automatically. Oh, I want to swing around, and I hit him with a table leg. Interesting, cool. I'm a robotic super god. I can do that. But with this system and how it works, it's, all right, I need to increase my aggression. I'm going to increase this number by this amount and this amount by this amount. And then, all right, this is how it becomes math, and it becomes effectiveness, and it becomes not really entertaining. And also, in case you're wondering, every single goddamn character has to be like this. This is your name. Do you like it? Do you like Zipper? Siren? SP4C. Space Moth? Space Moth. Cleaner. Yeah, you have to use the leet speak for everything because, again, Chad loves the 80s. And then we have narrating combat scenes. Oh, more things like, guess what this is? It's increasing and decreasing bars. And I'm not really going to go over much else with these because that's how it kind of boils down to a lot of these. Like, you have some different names, like, oh, here's the waypoint toward arriving at the next position. Oh, here's where you need to go. Oh, here's where you need to go. But at the end of the day, every single thing you do, every single little piece is about increasing a bar. And this is really boring. And I think that's one of the ultimate sins of this game at the end of the day, is that it's screaming for me to indulge in being a cybernetic super soldier. But you don't feel like it. When you use your laser breath, you increase someone's bar up higher. That's it. When you, oh, I want to teleport inside of a computer and hide along there and, zip across lines, you're increasing someone's bar. And that kind of hurts the game in general. It hurts the overall experience more than anything, because it takes something that could be interesting, a full cyborg game, a full game about counterinsurgency. When we get to that, it'll be a little bit interesting, because I've actually taken that bit. And it tries to put them all together, and it doesn't work. And that's kind of one of the biggest issues with it. It doesn't work. And it's really dull, because nothing happens. And or if it does happen, it's the same thing that happens. In D&D, for example, when you use Magic Missile, it's a fundamentally different experience than if you fireball someone. Something different's happening. If I run in there with a sword in one hand and a shield in the other, it's different than if I run in there with a two-handed great axe and start chopping. There's a difference in how I play my character, how my character reacts to things, what my goal is even. As a two-handed warrior, my goal is to chop up one character. A sword and board, I kind of got to maneuver around a little bit. I got to protect the guys in the back. If I'm a mage, do I want to blast them all right away if they're grouped up, or do I want to conserve some of my spells for a bigger guy? There's options. There's complex things. There's things I have to think about. In this game, it's hit button until my button is higher than them. It's the tabletop equivalent of playing a clicker game. Which, cool if you like clicker games, but no. And again, we got more. This is how you narrate. This is how you narrate. This is how you narrate. You even have a scene for talking to people, which in narrativist games you usually don't have. Why? Because it's a narrativist game. It's about talking to people. It's about trying to change. Escalating privilege. It's about trying to talk your way into a situation. But this isn't it. This is a game about increasing your exposure. Increasing this. Decrease. Recklessly increase. Up. On. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's literally all this fucking game is. And the thing is, you have to do this for every single kind of these encounters. You can't just do it for... and when I start a game, I try to go in there, I try to have an idea what I want to do. Okay, we're going to do a combat here, we're going to have a little talkie scene here. In this game, you can plan for that. Alright, everyone bring out the combat sheets. Hope you all have fun increasing your bar up. Oh, everyone, it's time for the talking scene. Bring out the intrigue scene. Oh, sorry, everyone. Bring out the evasion scene. You're bringing out these boxes constantly. And this is what the game boils down to. Everyone not thinking, hey, I have a cybernetic super arm. I'm going to chop my way out of this situation because I'm a badass. It's, oh, Christ, I gotta open up the what sheet now? Okay, we're doing the talking point sheet. Okay, talking point. Okay, we've increased the talking point. Now we can halt the Nazi march, right? Okay, we halt the march now. Like, no, you need 5 more points to get to that point. All right, Siren, can you increase our talking points up? Yeah, okay, I can do that. Okay, I got an ability. Let's decrease everyone's pressure a little bit. All right, okay, let's gather some more. It's not personality. You don't have personality in this game. You're not allowed to. Also, show fascism. Don't be fascist. uh, yeah, yeah, we can't be racist, but we have to show racism. Yeah, let's see, subtle. And the thing is, it's just like, you can't ignore this. And that's what you almost want to do, but you can't. Also, here's your, also, you may be wondering, Notepad, how do these people turn into cyborgs? And the answer is radios. How do they work? Like magnets. Who knows? Yeah, once you do get the signal, you become this. Become a cybernetic freak of nature. Does he address what happens if you get EMP'd? No. Does it give you an example of having to repair yourself easy? No, it doesn't. What happens if I get my arm cut off? Doesn't matter. Now, we finally hit the point at page 140 to learn actually how to build a character, because this entire point we have no idea. So, congratulations. Here's our about 250p character, Ash DuBois. I think that's, let's zoom out a little, Pillager. Yep, here's, yeah, okay. Sonic Sight. Success is applied to 2 allies. Tactical neural net. Alright, cool. -1 exposure to an ally, 3 successes rolled during combat. Oh, I have super strength. Sorry. No, you're just increasing someone's thing higher. It's like, what am I? Your receiver has a real name, elite sound, as well as an elite sounding cat. Yes. Is this a legitimate thing you have to do? Yes. Yes. Yes, Sachiko, you are completely correct. It boils down at the end of the day to number crunching. And like, you can do it, but it's like, well, we can either role play this out like sane human beings. Give me 1 second, let me start the music back up. Or we use what the book is telling us to do, because if you just role play it out, guess what? These don't matter, because all of these assume that you're using the game. It's also, you have to look different ways, which give me 1 second. The thing that, yeah, 13 points between 4 core processors. Where's the thing that I always, and this is another one of those things which is like really in depth, because like, all right, select the subroutine configuration: 2 standalone, 2 elementals, 4 elementals. All right, nice and simple. Select an ultimate subroutine: super heroic difficult control powers. All right. That's like your sonic breath and being able to use the cold vacuum of outer space. A library collection of skills. All right, cool. Like, all of these games, like all of this suggests that I should be able to do something cool. But no, it all boils down to increase, decrease bar. Which is one of the reasons, actually, I wrote Soldat Sun's Identité, which was kind of a response to Sigmata at the end of the day, which actually, the original intention of Soldat Sun's Identité was to rewrite Sigmata, but I realized this game is an abomination of God and doesn't deserve anything else. But one of the key things I tried to get across in Soldat Sun's Identité was that your character has options, and putting a bunch of things on your character should feel cool. Like, hey, yeah, I have cybernetic legs, and my, internal core processors mean that I can, rapidly digitize Bitcoin anytime I walk, as well as being able to, see through walls. Cool, you can do that. That's a thing you can do if you really want. Why? I don't know. You're a super soldier, cybernetic super soldier. You can do whatever the hell you want. I wanted to give people options in this game. But remember, all of this, it's not a power fantasy. This part of the game, yeah, okay, everyone knows that, Sachi. Everyone knows Leet Speak was stupid. That's the problem. But Chad loves the 80s. That's the issue with this game. He loves the 80s. Oh yeah, the peripherals. Also, here's how your characters work. Your blades and subroutines. Chassis or case, unique biomechanical marvel. It's like, alright, this is cool. So, here's some of your siege map. Blade causes a flesh to rapidly generate an extra layer of hardened cybernetic plating that breaks away upon impact and regenerates seconds later. During combat scenes, she automatically reduces her exposure by 1 at the start of each round. Now, I want you to envision this. You have been shot with a shotgun. However, your literal body blocks 95% of it and sheds it immediately as you regain a chunk of your body. That's cool! Come on! But it's this. Tracer step. Project blurry after images of herself as she dashes from point to point on the battlefield, making it extremely difficult to anticipate her movements. When she uses the flank tactic, she reduces her own exposure by 1 point for every 2 successes rolled. Come on! Look, think of how many cool things you could do with that. You can make an entire character based around Tracer Step. You can make an entire character based around Siege Mesh. But it's all about increasing or decreasing a single bar. It's like, oh, well, shit. What are some other ones that I... Also, this is everything for combat blades. You get 5. Let's see. Oh, chameleon camo. Instantly coat her flesh, clothing, equipment, and photoreactive liquid metal that assumes the color and texture of her surroundings. She gains an additional success anytime she uses the fade tactic, as long as she rolled a 1 or more successes total. That's it. I am turning into I can go invisible. You gain an extra success. And I know there's a point where it's like, well, you're supposed to narratively say this. But the problem is, it's not even narrative. If I was a player, I wouldn't be seeing like, oh, cool, I get to turn invisible. No. I'd be like, all right, okay, I wanted to be the combat guy, so I'm not going to select the ability to go fucking invisible, because having chameleon camo does nothing for combat. Because apparently being able to literally go invisible in the middle of the battlefield means nothing. It doesn't. There's no reason to. There's no mechanics behind it, if there is. Intrigue blade. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Where's some? Vox mechanic augments the flares, allowing her to emit sonic and ultrasonic frequencies that cannot be actually heard by humans, but do cause them feelings of physical euphoria or distress. Depending on the receiver's intention, may use the comfort tactic. She is permitted to change +5 bonus and matching penalty to any lower number declared before making the op. So, for example, the comfort adding 5 talking points while incurring 5 exposure. She could decide on adding 3 talking points while incurring 3 exposure. Having ultrasonic voice gives you less. It's like, what? Like, what? In any other game, this would be a kick-ass thing to have for a face character. Shadowrun, put that on a face. Good God, I'd be doing hot. Putting, where is? Oh yeah, gravity-defying movement, running up walls, crawling across ceilings. That, keep putting on a Street Sam. You have the coolest Street fucking Sam ever. But it does. But if you look at it, look what it does. Permitted the changing of +5 bonus and matching penalty to any lower number declared before making the op. Gravity Spurs is the exact same fucking thing as Vox Mechani for a different bar. That's kind of the core issue, is that every power is bars. I don't care. Like, okay, like, Load balance. The blade optimally distributes mechanical stress between nearby receivers who also have this blade installed. Increases receiver exposure at the start of the round. A receiver with the blade installed can transfer up to 3 of her current exposure to another receiver. You can offset damage. And you're just going to use it to offset damage. What? And so I was like, oh, cool. You're doing free play, but making an option to determine one of her blades could possibly assist her in the outcome she desired. But this is during free play, not during actual valuable time. No, this is free play. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Like, this deserves more. Being able to go invisible sounds pretty damn useful in a combat situation. But I can't. Because that's not what that's not what it's about. I could try to convince my GM to do it. But then, what's the point of it? What's the point if I just have to Mother May I my GM constantly? Because one GM may say, yeah, you have the ability to use gravity spurs and change it. Yeah, you're going to be able to use that in fucking combat. Yeah, you're going to punch someone in the face. It's cool. Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, need a burrito there, mate. But another GM may say, well, no, it's not in the rules. It just says for this when making that kind of op, so no. Like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess. Also, here's the not racist. Also, this increasing, decreasing bar. And this is one of the things that I love about this game. That I wanted to say from it. And one of the main reasons I wrote Soldat Sans Identité is I wanted you to be able to do this and feel cool about it. I wanted you to pop up behind someone in a TV, grab them and rip them in half before dragging them into the TV world so they can fight their shadow selves. Yeah, I wanted you to play Persona 4 with someone, except they don't escape the TV. But no. Let me see. Summer Team Battle Expression Signal Blade. Okay, yeah, no, these are your superpowers. I'm like, all right, let's do this. What's some of our what's some of our cool subroutines? There aren't any. Oops. So, opts to use a Wrecking Ball subroutine during a combat scene to augment or flank tactic. Wrecking Ball adds a number of successes equal to Skyclops Valor, which is 5. So roll -1 success, use the Wrecking Ball to increase 4 successes. That's it. It's just increasing successes, which is fine. But it's, again, this Mother May I of, hey, can I use this to increase this? Yes, okay. Hey, can I use it? Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Then Cathode Warp subroutine to tie the guile so she can use it later on in the scene. So you have to play the game to use your cool superpowers so you can play the game better. And it's like, oh, cool. Which, the thing is, in a video game, this is cool. I like these kind of video games, actually, where it's a lot more about, well, I could use it here to increase my bar, but, safety-wise, I can increase it here a little bit, I can increase it there. No, that's not how this works. You have to use the systems presented to use your abilities, and if you don't use the systems presented, you just have to rewrite everything. At that point, why the fuck are you using system? Why are you even using it? Use something else. Play GURPS if you have to. GURPS Sigma. Actually, I'm curious. I gotta know. Anyone actually? No. Oh, Sigmata, not Stigmata. Sorry. Sigmata. GURP Sigmata. Okay, come on. Yeah, no, that's it. No one is. Which is odd to me. You would think something like this would have at least someone attempting to hack it. And you know your game isn't terribly good when the fucking GURPS guys don't want to do anything with it. It's GURPS, man. It does everything. But apparently nobody wants to touch that. Because again, it's like, why would I... If I want to play a superhero game, why would I play Sigmata? Because it's not a superhero game. So, let's, you may be saying, oh, wow. Also, here's your laser breath. You're like, oh, wow, laser breath sure is cool. Oh. Oh, no. Let's see. The ultimate must be processed 3 times during something truly epic and super heroic. Let's say Cold War. Harness the cold vacuum of deep space. Cryogenic destruction on her foes. She concentrates until the target. No longer when she warps back, as she was ripping the heat out of them. Burst into jagged stars of crystalline ice, only to plummet to the ground, shatter upon impact. Successes can be split between threats and armored targets during a massive battle. Okay. Neutralizes 1 threat or adds 4 exposure to armored targets. That's all it does. So you roll 5 dice. You're like, cool, I'm rolling 5 dice. And I either neutralize something, or I give an armored target 4. I want you to look at that image. I want you to look at him shooting laser breath from his mouth. And fun fact, him destroying that helicopter, that's technically armor, so he'd only be doing 4 exposure to it. You don't do any damage to it beforehand? Sorry, it's not dead. You have to use your ultimate twice. Do 8. You have to use it 3 successes to destroy a helicopter. And then that's 3 out of your possible 5. And what happened if you botch? Well, you do nothing. And that's only if you roll 5 successes, which you can roll technically 0 or negative. And all of these do the exact same thing. That's, I think, is the ultimate sadness. Oh, laser breath, to take a deep breath, scream a punching column of amplified destructive light. Same thing as submarine lights reduce the element of an environment to a digital detritus. What the fuck? Or metal-plated flesh open, revealing clusters of tiny lasers emitting light up and rapidly scan every inch of your surroundings. Obstacles and adversaries struck by these beams freeze in place, pixelated, and rapidly deteriorate like digitized dust blown by the wind. This does the exact same as laser breath. And also, you're not encouraged to use them. Because if you use them in anything except combat, oh yeah, let's see some. Ultimates, collateral damage, particularly used in populated areas, shopping mall, corporate campus. Let's see, or transit hub. Ultimate is used any near such a location as determined by the GM. Any botch that is rolled in an attempt to results in collateral damage, regardless of how many total successes are rolled. Each botch has the potential to injure, kill, or injure, maim, and kill a handful of bystanders and non-combatants. But here's the thing. What I want you to do right now is I want you to take a step back, close your eyes, and think about it for a second. What if I were to pitch to you a game about superpowered cyborgs who, are fighting against the man? Sounds pretty cool, right? Where you can use your ultimate ability to blow up helicopters, fight APCs, and deal with enemies. Sounds pretty neat. That sounds something like something that's actually kind of fascinating, almost. Something with personality. But we're not even done yet. Oh, no, because we have to deal with something even more fascinating. The part of this game I actually love. Oh yeah, I'll say it. The part of this game I actually adore. Well, actually not quite yet. Because mind you, we're not even done yet. This is still fucking characters. We just hit over halfway. I think that's the saddest part of this entire endeavor, because this is literally a whole lot of goddamn nothing. So let's go to my favorite section, 254. So you may be wondering, hey, wait a second, what about all of this? This is all about the like fighting against the man, because yeah, there's the second part of this game. The fact that you're running you're running an insurgency. Yeah, you're running a literal insurgency. All of that point, all of this cool laser breath and fighting against the man, all that means nothing overall. All that matters is the insurgency that you're a part of. It's here, let's yeah, also here's some more issues with the regime. And yes, in case you're wondering, does the regime look entirely like this? Yes. They do look pretty cool. So, but this is ethical insurgency. I just want to do a brief look over here. One of the key things is resistance fighters must not commit war crimes. Pretty much what this is saying is that you're supposed to be running an ethical insurgency. That the war for independence and freedom must be pretty much done in a right and righteous way. However, and Chad, Mr. Walker, never thought about this, I don't think. War is not bloodless. War is in fact quite bloody. People die. People get hurt. People make mistakes. And one of the key things I try to get across in Hearts of Darkness, which is that there's no such thing as an ethical insurgency. We can always start as one. People can struggle, can strive to not do monstrous things in the name of what they feel is right, but always tempted. These people won't agree with us regardless of what we do. What's stopping us from killing them? They were combatants. What's stopping us from executing prisoners of war? We can't take care of them. They're either going to starve to death or we put a bullet in them. And that's one of the things with Hearts of Darkness I try to get across, is that war isn't clandestine. It's not about being the good guys. It's about trying to get... It's the ends justify the means, right? We're trying to be the good guys. But how we get there, things get complicated. Exactly, and that's one of the issues. It's... At what point... Because one of the big things I wanted to get across with Hearts of Darkness is I didn't want to see someone start off as a monster and end as a monster, nor did I want to see someone start as this heroic hero and end a heroic hero. I wanted to see a character arc that's a little bit more natural. You might start as a fresh-faced college student, but when does your character break? When do you sit there at the table with all your guys and you're all looking at each other being like, we don't have enough food to feed everyone. We don't have enough guns to arm everyone. And everyone's looking at each other. It's like, well, let's bring it to a vote, everyone. On one side, we loot this village for everything it has, steal all its money, get all its equipment, and leave. On the other hand, we let it go as it falls back into enemy hands. What do? Do you choose the ethical route, letting it live? Or do you choose the non-ethical route? Who do you kill? Who survives? What do you do when you're pushed to that limit? When it's survive or die? Is it worth going up, keep pushing. If you mean you kind of gotta hurt your morals a little bit, but don't worry, it's fine, right? It's okay. It's only one crime against humanity. It's okay. When we win the war, we'll apologize. We'll give them everything. And shit, we have to do another one. Like, ah, crap, there's another one we have to do. And then suddenly you're desensitized to it. You're thinking it doesn't matter anymore. We're this far in. We already have blood on our hands. What's gonna hurt if we add more? Who's gonna get mad at us? We'll kill them too. That's one of the things I wanted to get across with Hearts of Darkness, is that it's not easy. An insurgency is not something that's simple. We can sit back in our cage, in our nice little house. Exactly, with Princess the Hopeful, I think, because you want to do good, but it's really easy to be bad. Because that's what you need to do, but you don't want to do it, but you have to. And you get mad, and you keep fighting the good fight, even if do something bad. However, Mr. Walker has an incredibly interesting viewpoint on the ethical insurgency, where you can't commit any war crimes, even though by sheer technicality you also commit war crimes by using the characters. Weapons of mass destruction. Congratulations, your laser breath does technically count as a weapon of mass destruction. You are employing it. Therefore, if you use it, you're committing a war crime. Or, God help you all if you use anything technological and you're indirectly shutting off the power grid. So, this is what I like. This is also another one I find. Must not coerce material support from the people. Yeah, no, the resistance literally cannot ask for materials because that's not part of the ethical. No, there is not rules for martyrdom. Technically, when you hit 10 exposure in a combat scene, you can reboot yourself. But if you do that, you're also in danger. Like, there's no strict mechanic for okay, you just detonate. Also, this is my favorite line: an ethical insurgency must not be confused with weakness. The resistance command has not made the ethical insurgency an imperative because they are soft nor afraid of bloodshed, nor because they are the right thing to do. They've selected the strategy because this is how an insurgency wins. This is how the insurgency wins, everyone. By not doing anything and dying. No, you're winning because you have cybernetic super soldiers. It's always that amusing thing. It's just being this wow, we're on the, we're winning. We can do it, man. Thank God we have the power of God and anime on our side. Thank God we have the most powerful people in existence on our side. Whatever would we do? Now, you're also you can't target. Comes with 5 categories of targets. You can fight combatants, informants, collaborators, witnesses, and dissenters. Let's see. Military trial for people who inform. Exoneration, imprisonment, or execution. Yeah, you can just execute political figures if you feel like. No, he didn't. Actually, I had to put in a little side note. It was in Hearts of Darkness. Actually, it was Hearts of Darkness or the Middle Eastern expansion about the nature of martyrdom. It was just a side note, being this people who die. And when people are just drafted back in, because in Hearts of Darkness, the idea is that you're kind of more of a dude that's been elevated into a higher authority by the people who you follow. And that's kind of one of the cool things I wanted to do, is that you are a regular person, but you've been kind of brought up further for being someone important. you fight the good fight. And I even put in things like I want to say it was in the Middle East expansion. If not, I have to add that actually, which is about what happens if you do something like a suicide vest. Because here's actually a fun little factoid. In Islamic law, like strict Sharia, suicide is actually completely illegal. You are not allowed to do it, and people who commit suicide are actually viewed as, go to hell. That's the thing in Sharia. But the idea is that you're supposed to go to your local community or go to your local imam, and they'll help you. However, terrorist organizations have actually used kind of a quirk in the system, saying you're technically not committing suicide. You're technically not dying when you blow yourself up with a vest. What you're doing is you are committing holy war, and you are dying for your beliefs. It's martyrdom. It's different. It's kind of an interesting little idea about manipulating pretty much logic. This one does not have any of that, because why would you? Because you will learn that the author forgot about Muslims. The author forgot about a lot of people, and you will quickly also learn that your character is not actually part of the resistance, and you'll get to mean what I mean by that. But yeah, no, technically you can kill anyone who works with the enemy. This is also my favorite one, dissenters. Pretty much if you don't agree with regional command, you can technically kill them. Now, there's actually bits and pieces where you can actually argue being this like, yeah, let's yeah, it's one of those things with like the dissenter opinion, because there's actually a section later on where they talk about like, hey, one of the other one of the factions inside the resistance, one of the like a rogue group is doing their own thing, and you have to stop them. You literally go out of your way to stop them. It's weird because resistance command is flawless. They have done nothing wrong. But individual members of the resistance who make up the command are flawed. Which is a very odd endeavor. Yeah, also, here's the entire section on torture. Now, this is one of those weird bits that Chad possibly indulges in his fetish a little bit. He does have an entire section on torture. Shh, Mecha Girl. Contradiction? There's no contradiction in Sigmata. Everyone is good until they're not good, and then they're fascist. But yeah, no, torture I don't know why this is here. That's one of those things that's just like, if you put it as a side note, or it's just like, hey, don't torture people who don't need torture, because that's kind of fucked up. Also, it's a lie, by the way. Necessary is a lie. A tactic to promote power, those seeking power, and create eternal, irrevocable animosity between warring parties. Yeah, because remember, I want you to remember that the resistance will never commit torture. Absolutely not. There has been no indication across any revolutionary movement at all that have ever committed torture. Stop looking at me like that. Stop bringing up the PowerPoint presentation. Stop it. You're not allowed to do that. Not this resistance. Yeah, this is also like the big thing, and like this is actually kind of a neat little thing with like the Freedom Fist people. It's like the idea of like, oh hey, like one of the like ultimate things to dab on the Freedom Fist is to have them remove their mask, because it's a sign of we lose, we're sacrificing, we're giving you our identity effectively, rather than kind of being blank. Now there's something you can actually make with this. Kind of the idea of this, like, oh yeah, we're faceless grunts, but when you take your mask off, you're human again. You're a person who makes mistakes, who is a human being, who has only kidnapping and executing is fine if it's the bad guys. Or it's only the bad guys. That's different. Different. But I like this, actually. It's just a little bit. I mean, it's like, yeah, no, you force someone to take their mask off and they have to report back. They're immediately kind of like, no, you're fucked up. You had to remove your mask. You become human. And that's actually an interesting idea of like showing your humanity. That's a cool idea. And that's kind of the entire crux of Sigmata, is that it's a cool idea that just doesn't work. Also, here's one of my favorite one of my favorite lines, because when you realize that technically both of these people are evenly matched, even though she has a fucking laser sword. And is she wearing, is it a woman wearing a China dress while they're zooming around Chinatown as apparently a neo-Nazi flies through the air with 2 knives ready to fight? Yeah, I don't know who you're with, but I'm down. It seems pretty cool. It's Gucci. And now we get to actually do the part where I, in my notes, I actually skip ahead a little bit. Because this is literally an entire section where he's talking about insurgencies across media. We also get an entire thing about Assad, because he really hates Assad. Yeah, he hates he hates Assad, but he's also kind of okay with Assad. Which is really weird. Uh, yeah, no, yeah. Is there an entire section about how Assad is a bad dude in this game about 1986 cyborg insurgents? Yes, there is an entire section about ISIL. And in case you're wondering, let's do a little Google search. When was ISIL founded? 1999. So officially we are 10 years in the future in this game. So congratulations everyone of time traveling with me. Yeah, and mind you, this is not even like 1999 information. This is like 2015, 16. So don't worry, everyone. Okay, so fun fact: 3 types of insurgent strategy: guerrilla warfare, conventional warfare, and the punishment strategy. Guerrilla warfare works in certain situations, but you need it. Conventional warfare is fucking stupid and will never work for insurgents unless they have crushing victory or the military on their side, and punishment is dumb. Yeah, no. I actually had to take a class on revolutions and insurgencies, and I find it very fascinating, some of how revolutions and insurgencies take place and why they usually fail. Uh, yes. Does he have an entire thing about how to commit terrorism? Yes, he does have an entire section about committing terrorism. Yeah, yeah, apparently we've adopted the guerrilla warfare strategy, which, mind you, one of the key things about guerrilla warfare is that it sucks. Guerrilla warfare sucks for everyone involved, because it's like the countryside is filled with nightmares, and usually the resistance doesn't have food and doesn't have resources, so they have to raid constantly. But we're not dealing with that. Uh, no. Different, very different, very different. We're go guerrilla warfare. It's an ethical guerrilla warfare. It's an ethical IED. Don't you know? All right, so now one of the things that I enjoy, now some of you may have heard of coin games, COIN, counterinsurgency games. Now, counterinsurgency, here, let me bring up one of the more popular ones. Counter-insurgency. The Coin series, GMT games. Now, this guy was actually written, this series, the Coin series, was actually written by a guy who was, I believe, CIA? He was a military dude. He was a CIA or kind of high up there. And he actually wrote this for fun about running a counterinsurgency operation. And as you see, like, he has done quite a few of these, and it's a lot more about, hey, how do you actually do this? Because it's not about, like, with these things, it's not about just winning fights. Because winning fights in a counterinsurgency operation is only half the battle. It's about making sure the people like you, and it's about making sure that people are going to care about you. However, this is, I think the best way to say this is kind of like a bizarro coin, because you're an insurgency. And guess what, everyone? It's more trackers! Here's the other game I was talking about with Sigmata. This is the second game. And this is why good old Sigmata is what I would like to call a Frankenstein Voltron, because it's two games in one. On one hand, you're cybernetic super soldiers. On the other hand, you are partisans. Now, if you take either or of those, that game works pretty cool. However, it's both. And this is where things get a little bit wacky. So the idea is that you have to manage all of your various bars as well as the signal. The signal is kind of like your overall, like, how well you're doing. 0 is you're gonna, like, you're losing. 6 is like you're winning. It's like, oh, cool. Now, usually in coin games, they have things like this. But the idea is like, hey, the people hate us, but we have the entire we have the forces on the run. That produces an ending state which is very problematic, because it's like, well, the people hate us, they like the enemy forces more, and they're routing now. Shit, what do you mean there's more of them? You have to, it's about managing. What do you do? Now, yeah, you also get you've lost control of powers, and it's everyone's, and then imminent victory. Again, 6 steps. I also like this. Now, the entire idea in most operations is that you're managing signal wars, about pretty much who's managing the signal, pretty much who's giving you more superpowers. Because remember, you get your superpowers from FM radio. You don't get your superpowers because you're a cybernetic abomination of God. You get it because you listen to 56.6 on the waves. So you get some odd things, because, like, oh, hey, I'm going to eliminate all my exposure now. I'm going to eliminate all my bars. But if you get down, you lose all your things. Yeah, you can literally lose everything. Yeah, here's death squads. You can all fucking die now. Lamau. And you may be wondering, what's a death squad? Is it the right-wing death squad of RG? No, it's a tank battalion. Because of course it is a tank battalion. And mind you, these are all rules for managing this system about who controls the airwaves. Receiver are fighting for their lives, escaping overall Green Fist battalion supported by armor and gunships. Let's see. Ending a turn with 10 or more exposure results in the final and unambiguous death of the receiver. This is the only way to really die. I've determined over time. Now, we also get my favorite part of this, which is actually the factions. Let me see if I can find the picture of the factions. Where are you, factions? No, that's not all the factions. Okay, let me start hunting around for all the factions again, because there's an image with all the factions in it. This book is also a pain in the ass to even like find, but let me see if I can pull it up in Discord. That's Abigail Shapiro. I don't know why Abigail Shapiro is being posted now. Wow, it's literally me. Come on, I know you're there. Come on, I'm almost there. Okay, no, not quite. Come on, there we go. Let me pull up. So, here are your factions. Now, I want you all to take a look at your factions. Wait a second. I want you all to appreciate them for what they are. Now, let's all play a game, kids. And this game is, what are we dealing with? No. God, I wish Ben Shapiro was in this, because he could really destroy this game with facts and logic. I was looking for an image, and people kept posting his sister, Abigail Shapiro, otherwise known as Kazar Milkers, the woman. But yeah, here are the 4 factions of the Resistance. These are the only 4 factions of the Resistance, because again, absolutely nobody else partakes in the Resistance for America's freedom, except libertarian gun nuts, the Catholic Church, and ANCAPs, and communists. No, seriously, that's those are the factions. Do you like your factions, everyone? Do you like them? Look at him. He's the libertarian gun nut. He's like your crazy Uncle Steve. There's your father Paul, who looks angry. That looks like a reference to. Yeah, we're not mad at it. We're not going to look at these people in the back here. But yeah, no, that's the party. That's actually shouldn't say the party, because it's not the party, because the party is angry black woman over there. She is actually the communist. Oh, it gets worse. So here are your factions. You have the old men, the faith, the party, and the makers. Now, the old men are, again, libertarian gun nuts, who were actually the first to rise up. And when they're the first ones to rise up, they were also the first ones to get their shit kicked in. Because, yes, now mind you, these are all people who Chad doesn't like. Chad doesn't like libertarian gun nuts very much. He doesn't really like the church very much. He doesn't like communists very much, and he doesn't like ANCAPs very much. Or in a more simple method, he doesn't like people who disagree with him on anything, and everyone disagrees with him and how his awesome resistance is going to be run. It especially gets bad when you start realizing these people's loyalty can fail with, guess what? Do you like more bars? Because we got more bars coming. It's so many bars, you're going to think you're downtown Orlando, Florida. Yeah, and guess what? You know what the loyalty does? It reduces your bars. That's what it does. It increases your bars. Yeah. When it comes to social and political forces that influence the individual's behavior, ideology has nothing on money. Yeah, because, yeah, remember, you can use ANCAP money to make sure you stop getting shot at. Yeah, no, I just want you to remember that by sheer technicality, you can spend money to stop getting hurt. Yeah, Minutemen just shoot people. Yeah, also the church infiltrates everyone because they are literally spies. They are actually Assassin's Creed church people. And it's also the faith. And now, it's also odd with the faith because Chad never says he likes Catholics or Christians. However, they are Catholics and Christians. However, one of the main things that you may notice that it's talking about bishops, talking about that. There are no other faiths. They don't address any other ones. The Jews, sorry, they're in the camps. Muslims, camps. Protestants, camps. Let's see. Buddhist camps. Yeah, every single person is now a Christian in America, and there is absolutely global homogeny, and nobody is any other faith ever. Remember that. Yeah. Also, this is the side that always makes me get a big kind of that thinky emoji. This is the Great Betrayal. Now, this is a part of the thing that I feel is actually kind of interesting. And again, this is one of those things. Again, what I want you to do is take a step back, close your eyes. All right, you're going to play a game where when you are an insurgency, every player is a partisan, part of this insurgency. You're trying to fight the good fight. Trying to manage whether people like you, don't like you, if you have the people's support, you have international support, and even just how strong you are. Sounds pretty fucking cool. I'd play that. Good board game, but I digress. But we get this. Now, the Great Betrayal, the concept behind it is that if you're winning too hard, one side will actually betray you. One of those four key factions of the resistance will actually betray you. And what I mean by they'll betray you is that they'll join the regime and become fascists. And they get hilarious with some of them. Yeah. A failed loyalty check. Signal strength tracker determines that the war has reached the imminent victory phase. A failed loyalty check results in the faction transforming into an authoritarian antithesis of the humanitarian revolutionary impulses, becoming the new regime. Yeah, they also start purging people. This all happens off screen, by the way. Shh, stop thinking, Sachiko. Now, yeah. You get some weird moments because, like, if you fail a check, by technicality, the Great Betrayal can take place. So, if you fuck up a check, if you just roll a bunch of ones, it's like, oh, poop. I rolled 2 1s, a 3, and a 5. Like, oh man, that really sucks. It turns out the entire, a quarter of the entire resistance now wants to murder you. Oops. It's like, oh god, all right. Yeah. Yeah, you also, there's no way the maker, yeah. Their strategic discipline and commitment to cause were always questioned, so they kept in the dark about many operational secrets that were numerous contingencies plans accounting for possible betrayal. These factions' high loyalty on the head were most trusted and influential members of the movement. They gave all of their combat to the regime, helped the receivers survive their most dangerous ordeals, and trusted with the resistance with sensitive operational secrets. No one saw their betrayal coming. I can't believe it happened. I can't believe this is happening, comrades. On the eve of victory, the tanky set fire to the whole thing. Yeah, also, when the Great Betrayal happens, the local population, international community, and resistance fighters score on the coin tracker each plummet by the value of the betraying faction's loyalty. If you have high loyalty and you fuck up a single roll, there is a chance that you will lose automatically because everything will reach 0. Also, the only silver lining of the Great Betrayal is that the surviving factions coalesce into a single faction, the people. The people of the conglomeration of Great Betrayal survivals. Yeah. If you, it's if you roll it if you fuck up an operation, there's a chance you have to roll it. If you make pretty much any time the loyalty goes up or down in any situation, you have to make a loyalty check, and or if you're trying to draft them to use something from them. Because remember earlier I said you're not actually part of the resistance, but you are part of the resistance because you are not part of any of these factions. As the receivers, as your cybernetic super soldiers, you are actually not part of the old men, the party, the faith. No, you're not part of them. You are your own independent thing who's just loyal to the fight and resistance, but not actually loyal to any of the people running the resistance, which is incredibly strange. I wonder, because yeah, here's the because yeah, mind you, there's a full section on strategic systems. Okay, let's see. Equal less than the factions loyalty. The players receive one way from that faction, pretty much like free money, militiamen, people. It's greater than the faction's loyal. The faction fallout occurs. The exact nature of which is based on which faction the GM selected in the current state of the war. Repeat from the top. Yes, there's an entire section for the strategic phase, and the regime gets a bunch of actions. Because yeah, look at all this. These are all things that the regime can do. That they just do to reduce your bars. Also, here's all the resistance actions. Things that increase your bars. Where also the faction favors. Selected by players and approved by members of one of the four factions, be it rank and file partisan or regional commander. Let's see. Receives success support, a faction favor, that loyalty increases by 1. So yeah, faction favors. This is just things that you just can do for the various factions to make them like you more. So for example, and mind you, these are all of this quality. Just so the old men have learned about a massive military cache, pepper and abandoned by enthusiasts that potentially hasn't recovered yet. Unfortunately, it's located in an extremely secure, difficult to reach place. Do it, get stuff. Like this is literally things that you do to get missions. Like, oh no, but something is going wrong. What happens? Well, if you perform the faction fallout, pretty much when things go wrong, you roll. And this is what it means by receivers then face difficult when the faction partisans engaging in or preparing to engage in actions antithetical antithetical to the resistance, raging for any self and misappropriation of the people's resources, or committing violent acts of terrorism against loyalist populations. Then you have to make a choice. Embark on an emergency mission to stop these upstarts from carrying out their plans, pretty much gunning down your own people, or stop it. If you don't, you increase the loyalty by 1. If you do stop it, you reduce it. Managing faction fallout is an opportunity to identify and confront authoritarianism and counter-revolutionary impulses of the factions. It's also a chance to explore the risks and consequences of making even temporary strategic alliance with historically adversarial groups. Also, and remember, if you fuck up and you start losing things and people stop liking you, this is what starts occurring. So, in an extreme emergency, the old men don't like you. The Minutemen attack and take over public utilities, government administration offices, and other soft targets of the state in a futile attempt to cripple the regime. You lose bars. No, don't worry. You also establish micronations, or my personal favorite, the radical libertarians take over and form an ethno-state. This is what happens when you fuck up and someone doesn't like you very much. They betray you and form an ethno-state. Do you like this? Also, if you piss off the communists enough, the makers start hating you. We also got neo-Stalinism, Christo-fascism. Mind you, these are the good guys. I want you to remember that. Yeah, we're supposed to like all these people, but not like them because they're all evil, by the way. Yeah, no, yeah, good news. Don't worry. You can also start doing false flag operations against them to be it at. And again, all of these are mechanics. Every single bit of this is mechanics that you have to just manage to play the game. And it's like, oh hey, here's missions and gains. Yeah, you also receive upgrade points. You get gains. That's how you do it. Yeah, this is an optional mechanic which you can actually double the faction loyalty score if and when the Great Betrayal. Yeah, no, you can actually lose your character by wanting to actually align with one of the players. Yeah, so hey, I hope you don't like any of those factions I dislike, because any one of them can betray you at any moment and you lose your character permanently. Hope that's Gucci with you, mate. Yeah, also, welcome to... I'm also going to kind of skip through all this because it's like, oh, okay, cool. You also get... Welcome to Chapter, everyone. Here's the literal... To role play out a character's dialogue with each other, select this and start talking about talking points. And yeah. All right, gang. With that mission behind you, let's do some chatter. You're all in a sedan driving back to HQ. The windows are cracked so you can smell the ocean as you cruise toward the glowing skyline. The radio plays softly, hopping from one pop hit to the next. Like usual. Tap rack? I think that's tap racks behind the wheel. Okay, I got my list ready. Who wants to go first? I'll go, says Zipper. Okay, Zipper breaks the silence. You two prompts are, you know what I hate about the city, or I just realized something about that last mission. Take your time. Okay. Hey, I just realized something about that last missions. Remember when Siren did that subliminal thing with their boombox? All those Nazi punks started fighting each other. What if we broadcast that shit from a radio station? Because it doesn't work like that, says Siren. And even if it did, everyone in the city would start punching each other in the face, even our comrades. We tailor the mess saying Nazis punch each other. It wouldn't work. Most of the Nazis don't think they're Nazis. This is literally like a thing that you've had to write in. Like, hey, have some natural dialogue. And you're thinking like, okay, it's done. Also, let's talk about 2018, by the way. I am repeating the signal that this fucking game sucks. Yeah, here are all of the bars, by the way. Do you like your bars? Because we got bars. all your coin trackers, all your combat bars, all your evasion bars. Can't forget your intrigue bars. Here's all the regime actions, all the resistance actions, all the faction favors, all the faction fallouts. All right, here's your dossier. But how can I forget the dossier? That's your character sheet. Here's also some of my favorite characters. So, Marcus Abrams, or Taprock, or Taprack. I think that's Taprack. Leads from Behind, Dry Comedian, Spree Shooting Fantasies, Divinity School Stopout in 76, last non-white permitted into the Army Ranger School in 77, went AWOL in 81. So yeah, here's one of the heroes. He dreams about leading a spree shooting. He also is an AWOL Army Ranger. Alright, pretty noble dude. I can get behind him, I think. He also has awesome Godzilla strength. This is my favorite. Now, mind you, you also have to remember, you look cishet. That's just who you are. A single mother, stoner, goofball, law degree, pinball wizard, porn aficionado, brief stint in commune, cult in 79, tabletop role player, lesbian. Am I saying Jamie Bennington is someone Chad probably went out with at one point? Yes. Am I saying he's still kind of mad? Yes, probably. But don't worry, she's a lesbian, but also a single mother. Is the child ever brought up? Absolutely not. Yeah, also, she has an SMG. Does the SMG do anything? No. I think this summarizes me apparently pretty well. Recovering heroin addict, jazz drummer, card shark, former cable man, bankrupted by mail order music club, is actually pretty racist. But yeah, no, oh, here's my favorite. This is my favorite character in this entire thing, because system operator of a private BBS, day trader, movie buff, expert chef, intel under officer under Pol Pot in the mid-70s. He murdered other officers and then fled to the U.S. He's also bisexual. Now let's do a little bit of a. You're not gonna like that. Let's see. Let's do Pol Pot. Let's see how long that lasted. Oh, mid-70s, you say? Oh no. Oh no. Looks like he was a part of the fucking Cambodian genocide. What the fuck? He's one of the example characters. Guys. No. Yeah, welcome to... What? Video? Look at this. No, we're not thinking about it. So, yeah, welcome, that's Sigmata. Now, you may be wondering, okay, wow, Notepad, that was fucking terrible. What's next? I mean, it can't be that bad, right? Fun fact, here's the expansion. But don't worry, there's more! Now, I'm not going to go over everything and repeat the signal for two reasons. One, repeat the signal is possibly the most bizarre thing in the world because it's a second edition and errata. It is also $15. Now, you may be wondering, Notepad, what do you mean it's $15 for a way to make the game work? Yeah, as said, it makes the game work. Now, when I say errata, when I say kind of a fix, yeah, he doesn't. Fun fact: the BBS Discord is actually like a fucking hug box and a half. Like, holy shit. Let me see. Am I still banned? Let's see if I'm still banned. Yeah, I'm still fucking banned. Fun fact, kids, I am banned. So, but join if you feel like. So, here is also only time punching a Nazi is acceptable is when higher force options are unavailable. One thing to remember is replace Nazi by anyone that Chad dislikes, and that's what he means by a Nazi. So let's say only time punching a cop is acceptable is when higher force options are unavailable. Not very nice. Only time punching a priest is acceptable is when higher force options are unavailable. Not very nice. The only time punching a firefighter is acceptable when higher force options are unavailable. You're seeing the trend here, everyone. Also here, okay, yeah, here, this is, okay, let's just put this right here. Second edition as well, director's cut. I'm just gonna go down. Mind you, you do need the original core book of Sigmata to actually make this work, because if you don't have it, the game doesn't function. But you'll quickly learn that it's also completely useless now. So just remember that, everyone. It's useless, but it's fundamental. All right, so this is my favorite section. See, the old men were standing for the Free Syria Army of military defectors that opposed the Assad regime. Oh no. The faith is standing for Islamist groups involved in the struggle. Yes, everyone, you didn't realize that Sigmata is a reference to the Assyrian conflict. This entire thing is based on the fucking Syria conflict, guys. Oh, man, this isn't how it works. This isn't how it works at all. Oh god, the complexities of the Syrian conflict is way more complex than this. Its potential degenerations with essentially Christian jihad or Christian Sharia representative that marries Salafist military groups had in mind. Also, the international community, realist interpretations of no, realist that's not how it works. You fucking idiot. Wealthy countries extract resources from poorer countries to make it easier to sell these activities. Caring about human rights, but the atrocities continued in Syria. It was quite clear that human rights were never a concern for the international actor. With Russia's bolstering of the Assad regime, America's army, and of the wrong. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Western left's tepid response to the carnage as it unfolded. Well, many leftists were decided to either report on or take up arms against a right-wing regime committing genocide and democide. Most watched indifference, or worse, perpetuated the cycle of conspiracy and disinformation that would isolate and doom the resistance. Because yes, Chad wants you to join a left-wing militia group. That's his dream. He wants everyone to rise up against the state, the evil state, and gun everyone down. As I've told many people before, if you honestly believe that armed revolt is the best way to solve your problems of country, start gunning down. Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, fun fact, everyone. He actually replied to me on Twitter. This is where he did, and I said post-arrest because the entire conversation's a lot more complex than that, because I also, yeah, this is actually from, actually, I'm gonna reply to this. Thanks for sharing Hearts of Darkness. Again, supposed to terribly, yeah, he doesn't. Oh, this is like the legit dude. I love this dude. I love this fucking dude. I think this is the greatest person ever, and I continue wanting. Wait, you mean... Oh, you shared my game to your Discord? Why it's... There we go. Am I getting into a fight with a man on Twitter? Yes, I'm getting into a fight with a man on Twitter. Do I care? Absolutely not. There we go. Post the rest, man. Also, let's all... Hi, Chad! Hi, Chad! How you doing? Okay. Alright, we're done talking with Chad, everyone. Alright, we're done talking with Chad. And Chad was fun, but we're gonna make Chad go away now. Bye, Chad. But thank God we said hi to Chad, everyone, right? Right. Okay, so where were we? Oh, yeah. Yeah, mind you, this is literally an entire section dedicated to him saying, I fucked up, Lamau, and let's reclaim the narrative. And then also, hey, make your own factions. Now, this is one of those things where, I mean, you have to... You need the original book, because he doesn't explain what the fuck these do. He just expects you to know them. Because you have to buy the original book to know any of these things. Whatever the fuck Faction Fallout is, Faction Favors, because he doesn't explain it in the second edition. Which, you may be saying, Notepad, this is second edition. Obviously, he's got to explain the parts. No, this isn't second edition. This is the like a 0.5 edition. But don't worry, it's fine. But yeah, here's now the major changes. He changed exposure to danger. He chose an op to a role because ops were stupid. He literally changes things to where he needs to. But here's where things get real weird. So, all the core processes, aggression, guile, judgment, valor, got replaced. They're no longer there. Every single thing is unique. Aggression got redone because aggression was the best thing you could physically do. Everything got rebalanced. Nothing's tied. Here's the new character sheet. Now, I want you all to take a look at this and think for a minute. But Notepad, what do you fucking mean? You gotta do that. Like, what? But no, that's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. That's changing the entire game up. And the answer is yes, it is changing the entire fucking game up. However, you also probably noticed, could you play a Partisan in the first game? No, you couldn't. You literally could not play a human being. But now you can. All it takes is the expansion book, 15, to play a regular human being. And also, this is how you... Yep, here's how you assign stats, everyone. It's the same thing, except you move everything up and down on your little track. And here's more rules in the narrative of this game. It's like, oh boy, cool, I get a gun now that does gun things, or not sum total of their available equipment. Narrative without declaring these weapons as peripherals. Also, peripherals do not portable objects. Resources you can access in a flashback. Oh, or something they have waiting for you outside during a mission. Is a material thing and not a relationship. Determine your library. Then your library is what you do, but it's also completely defined and absolutely nothing of value. guess what? You also get more blades, but the blades are also completely done. Except when you realize something, and that something is, guess what? It's still more fucking tracks. That's all it is. It's tracks. And you may be like, oh wow, look at all these. It's the exact same shit. Except he reconfigured some things. So again, the entire first book, the entire section on blades, not useful anymore. Don't use them. They're useless because they don't do anything anymore. You may be like, but that's not quite right, right? Right? No, they don't do it. The first book is fundamentally useless at this point, except for all the coin stuff. Oh, wait. Notepad, all the coin stuff also works. You're getting why this expansion is kind of fucked. But yeah, also, these still do the same thing. Gravity Spurs and Vox Machina still do the same thing, mind you. Also, Fatigue, another tracker. Pretty much instead of having to like activate your subroutines, you just have to trigger them. That's something, like, it's honestly, it's one of those things that's like, cool. It's more shit about, you guessed it, increasing or decreasing goddamn trackers. But let's scroll down, don't we? Oh yeah, ultimate change to the exact same shit. Where you, except you trigger ultimates different. You just have to build them up by doing things, which I'm like, oh, cool, that's fine. Does it do the exact same shit as last time? Yes. But don't worry, we also added... Yeah, the expansion fixes the game by doing nothing. Except making the game easier to understand, sort of? Like, the thing is, it balances things, but it's an errata at the end of the day. It is something that you put out as a PDF, you know, a year down the line, being like, well, this is all the shit we noticed that doesn't work, so this is how you fix it. But no, it's a completely different game. You replace things. It's a replacement. Also, here's all your things. But mind you, you don't determine relations as be like, oh, cleaner is my inspiration. No, these are like dedicated things that you have to know. Like, for example, if we go all the way back up here a ways, and all the fucking rules. Yeah, every single relationship has to be one of these. And you may be wondering, well, but I'm a frenemy with this person. Airlock is an interesting game, and I say Airlock is an interesting game because what people think happened, and what I think happened, is that good old Chad there, well, for lack of a better word, he used Sigmata's money to make Airlock, and then charged his money for Airlock. And with the fact that he used it to build that, he also made Bombs and Balaclavas at the same time as that. And Bombs and Balaclavas is this game. But luckily, since he's not a complete fucking retard, he actually he's not charging for Bombs and Balaclavas, which is still the worst goddamn name ever created by human being. Seriously. Whoever the fuck came up with Bombs and Balaclavas needs to get shot, because that is a terrible name. Who thought that was a good name? Hearts of Darkness, for example, I borrowed from a literary source, Heart of Darkness, which is about the exploitation of people at its core. And I wanted to get across that at the end of the day, this game is about exploiting people. It's about exploiting a situation that people use to hurt one another, that people use to kill one another over these petty differences. Or like Soldat sans identité, which is French for soldier without identity. I tried to get across the idea that the characters, the soldiers, don't have an identity. They have to build their own. And that's kind of the crux of the game. It's just like, well, who do we align with? Well, I'm aligning with the cops, because the cops give me this, but they're also really nice to me, and they also give me stuff, and they also give me free charging, and they help me out with stuff. but I want to be like a detective. But I also don't have an identity. I'm a blank slate in this world, and I need to find it. Bombs and balaclavas gives me the impression that I'm playing a fucking terrorist. And I don't want to play a terrorist. What the fuck, Chad? I don't want to play terrorism simulator. If I wanted to do that, fuck, I just play XCOM. But it's weird because Chad doesn't realize. Okay, I gotta check to see if Chad responded. I'm getting into Twitter beef. I usually don't like getting into Twitter beef. I spend my entire time trying not to be as like less interesting as possible, because I don't like being interesting to people. Because the more attention you bring upon yourself, the more likely that people are going to try to put your head on a pike. And yeah, he's pulled into my devil trigger, unfortunately, and you know what that means. When my devil trigger is pulled, I must go ham. I am the storm that is approaching. My family crest is not a demon of death. It is a Notepad document. Yeah, also, welcome to relationships. This is literally an entire new mechanic in which you get to be told who your friends are. And, like, it also encourages you to use X cards. I am personally not a fan of X cards for two reasons. One, actually, the thing is, I'm okay with X cards in, like, a con game, where you don't know the other person. You know it's kind of a one thing, and like, oh, hey, they're speaking something kind of weird. Like, hey, brother, like, let's not do that. Let's not talk about your rape fantasy to me at a con. I'm trying to have fun learning the game. That's a no-no. But like among like a group of friends, that should be that should be something that you personally address. Hey, I don't want to go over relationships in this game. That's not the thing I want to do. I'm like, all right, cool. We won't touch them. We're going dungeoneering. We're going to kill some monsters. You're going to save some princesses. It's going to be Gucci. Or someone says, hey, I don't like bugs. Bugs freak me the fuck out. Like I'm an arachnophobe or something. I hate them. I can't deal with them. All right, cool. No spiders, no bugs. Need a burrito. We're fighting goblins, though. You like goblins? Fighting goblins. That's fine. That's something that like any decent group who has like the most basic function of brain function can do with each other. Now, if a character, if someone is like really uncomfortable with something, or is kind of awkward, or is like looking in on something, then maybe have like a, hey, ping me if you're not feeling good, or hey, I know this is your first time. If you want me to slow down or you want me to explain something, tell me, and I'll send me a PM on Discord, or send me something so I can be like, oh, okay, let's take a 5-minute break. What do you need? That's something that you establish with your group. But like X cards and like normal play, that's a no-no, because that just ruins the flow of things. Also, here's my favorite part, where you actually play literal human beings and not cybernetic super soldiers. You also fucking die really easily. Because this game was hilariously, you die if you play a partisan. Yeah, you are like not a actually like good human being as a partisan. You suck. Yeah, also fun fact, all of these, guess what it's about, everyone. Make a wild guess what you do with all your partisan training. If you guessed, drum roll please, increase and decrease bars, you are right. Congratulations, everyone. You get a cookie. Yeah, welcome to, it's the exact same shit, except you die. Literally, that's the difference between a partisan and a receiver, is that you die quicker. And they finally kind of clarified what the hell receivers are, is that you're the vanguard of the resistance. You're kind of the first ones in, and you're the ones doing everything, which sucks. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's a mechanic, that's a thing that you can do. It's like, oh, okay, like, Honestly, if this was the game, if it was like you're playing Partisans, cool. That's actually kind of interesting. It's more about the trying to play an insurgency and not playing a power fantasy where you are a cybernetic super soldier. And that was one of the things I again tried to do in Hearts of Darkness. Well, get the idea across is that you're not Superman. You get shot in the fucking head, you're gonna fucking die. Because you wanna know what happens to real people? If you get shot in the head, you die. You get hurt, you get your arm blown off. Something, shit happens. And it's like, oh, and then it's like, da 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 affinity. It's like, okay, I guess I'll play a partisan and suck, but yeah, also TSKF was a difficult game to hack because due to the signal. Let's see, bombs and no. Signals completely use those again to rely on their inherent acquired abilities. Yeah, no, welcome. The entirety of the partisan rules was bombs and balaclavas, which again, I fucking hate bombs and balaclavas because they don't address the seriousness of some conflicts. It's just like, oh well, everyone's happy-go-lucky, and imagine what your relationships are with people. Fuck no, it doesn't matter what your relationships are with people. It's about your men. It's about the people you are fighting for you. That's why I made Hearts of Darkness. Because the original, Witch Doctors and War Crimes, outside of being completely fucking retarded, it was about being a human, about going through difficult situations, about trying to navigate the complexities of an insurrection, and how you aren't a good person. I remember on the conversation where he's citing, where I actually fought like tooth and nail for Hearts of Darkness. Someone brought up being like, oh, committing a war crime gives you experience. I'm like, yeah, it does give you experience, because having more experience in Hearts of Darkness means you're more of a fucking monster. Because I want to encourage it. I want to put the gun to your head and be like, you want to get stronger? You want to be powerful? You want to survive this hell? Come on, do some crimes. Come on, do it. It's the gun on the table. You're a good person, you don't do it. But if you're a bad one, oh, it's so tempting. You want it. You want to take it. You want to use it. You want to abuse it. But you don't want to do it. Because that's the right thing to do. But obviously, if you don't spell it out, it's like, ugh. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is also puts this in. Sigmata hack. Yeah, he has an entire thing about hacks, because this entire section was actually supposed to be dedicated to all of the expansions that were never happened. So instead, he's talking about hacks that other people did for free. So yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah. Also, welcome to yeah, can't you see this peaceful ethical insurgency? Don't you like the peaceful ethical insurgency, everyone? Yeah, also, everything got changed to a fucking radio dial. So it's like, oh boy, here's the dial, but guess what, everyone? It's still dials. It's still dials, except everything is now. And that was arguably one of the actual inspirations behind how XP works in Hearts of Darkness, was actually Undertale execution points. It was the idea of being a dick, but the longer you're at war, the more experience you get, because you start becoming more and more dehumanized. After 5 years shitting in the jungle, getting shot at, having half your arm blown off at one point, but still fighting the good fight, you start becoming a little bit more cynical about things. Your desire becomes a little less, I could do the right thing, and more, well, it's not a war crime technically. If we bomb the village now, it looks like it's a false flag operation. Yeah, no, yeah, they increased the number of gauges. And again, you want to make this interesting? Make this a board game sheet. I'm down with it. If this was like a board game sheet, I'm like, all right, I can track this, like fine. But no, it's remember you got to bring out the fucking combat sheet every single combat. I want to re-emphasize that this isn't like a campaign combat sheet. No, this is the combat sheet for every single combat encounter you get into. You gotta do this. It's like, yeah, like. Also, here's some more vehicle threats and danger added by a threat, and it's just like, oh my god. You like tanks and APCs, and again, it's completely at odds with the idea of this more narrativist system, because it's like, why is there individual rules for armor and air support? There doesn't need to be one if you're going for a narrativist game, but if you're going for like a really heavy, like let's do an insurgency game, like a legit insurgency game, there's a reason I went really autistic on Hearts of Darkness, is that I needed to. What does a bomber do to air support? What does armor bring to the fight? What does having everyone on fucking motorcycles bring? It brings mobility. It, oh, God, I can't do it. I used to be able to. Also, here's more ordnance. Oh boy, here's big ordnance. Old man is yours to keep. Oh boy. Oh boy, here's the chemical laser. It's just like, oh boy, look everyone. And here, everyone, let's all clap. We actually got actual rules for guns. Okay, let's see. Chemical laser, a big fuck off laser. This one. Ah, cool, right? We're gonna get something cool for that. All right. If the target unable to employ subroutines or ultimates during the when used against the receiver, i.e. jammer, the target is unable to employ subroutines or ultimates during the next turn, whether or not the hit was scored. Chemical lasers have very limited batteries. When firing one, roll a d6 on a result of 1 to 3. That was the weapon's last shot. Okay, grenades. We like grenades. Cool. Okay. Double hits scored when used against infantry outside of a strong point, which can be distributed among one or multiple infantry in any way the thrower chooses. When used against a single threat inside of a strong point, apply how many hits were scored to every threat inside of the same strong point. Grenades are single use. Okay. Light machine gun. Big, broad. We can do it. Okay. Okay. Also works with conjunct. If someone needs age size or overwatch, use an LMG to suppress the roll of reduced damage by $3 instead of 2. LMGs use a lot of ammunition. Roll a d6, 1 to 2. Last burst. MGs are squad support weapons fired from stationary spot. Work best in conjunction with fire team. Protect their position. As such, only one character can use an LMG per round of combat. LMG doesn't do anything. An RPG. Fuck yeah, an RPG. Is this... Come on, it's a big fucking RPG. It's got to be able to, when using against a single threat inside a strong point, apply how many hits that were scored every other threat inside the same strong point. Oh. Tear gas. That's a war crime. Let's see. For everyone in that strong point to abandon immediately so long as one hit is scored. That's a war crime, everybody. Sniper rifles! Alright, it's identical to any other small arm turn rule, except it can inflict hits on infantry who are taking cover inside of a strong point, but only when using the flank tactic. Okay. Street sweeper! Big shotgun! It's 3 damage. Oh. Oh, no. No, guns are useful, but it's to augment your bars. And this is why I said kind of like equipment doesn't mean anything. Very early. Because every single combat encounter uses the same rules. Now, if I were to crack a beer bottle over your head, just like bam, slam it over here, I use the exact same rules as someone who is shooting you with a high-powered light machine gun. Same rules. It's like, oh no. Oh noes. if I use a laser cannon against you, I'm effectively doing the same thing as me stabbing you with a knife, except if you're a receiver, you can't use subroutines. It does nothing additional. Oh yeah, I shot a chemical laser at your friend and evaporated him. Oh, you only took 2 damage. Oh, sorry. Oopsie doopsie, everybody. You do get a bar rise. Hopefully you roll some success and don't botch it, or you might you might shoot the enemy. Okay, so oh, all right. Oh wait. So infantry technique in combat she also features abbreviation for decidedly not ordnance. Remember, everyone, assault rifles, handguns, hunting rifles, melee weapons, shotguns, and submachine guns are not ordnance. Yeah, all of those guns do nothing. Because I want you to remember, everyone, the baseball bat does the exact same thing as the lauded AK-47. Oh no! Oh no! Why does a bat... Fuck, if you want to play SMT, just play Notamons, man. God, could you even play it? SMT? See, it's hard to even play it. You wouldn't be able to really hack it into an SMT game, would you? Unless you want to do like a really broad spectrum version? Or at least that, like... I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, though. In, like, Persona and SMT. Because the idea is that you're fighting demons, so... Shooting, like... It's more about, like, the shooting, the concept of it, more than anything. Being like, okay, I'm shooting you with my AK-47 against Satan. Obviously, it's not going to do as much, but if I have the blessed gun of, you know, Michael's AKM, have no fear, everyone. Hallelujah. Every shot blessed by the god of, you know, goddess of war. You know how it would be. Yeah, also, Leah... Give me a second. I gotta post this. I gotta send this to one of my guys. Okay. Yeah, you may be wondering who I'm sending this to. I'm gonna be sending this to a good Persona. Have no fear, it's Persona 3. Let me just shoot myself in the head so I can use my Satan magic. Okay, give me 1 second. Now, you might wonder who I'm sending this to. I'm sending this to the writer of Opt and Tactics. One of the most autistic gun games ever created, and I love the man for it. Oh boy, yeah, if you fuck up too hard, you get... Oh wait, no, this is your guys who you can call in. Gotta get gains, bro. Yeah, also, artillery team firing motors, rocket HMG rounds, safe distance coordinated fire directed with our heroes via hand signals or radios. Yeah, have no fear, everyone. Let me call in my ethical artillery strike on the city. Have no fear. Sorry, everyone. This is my fucking ethical artillery. Oh, Jesus. Guess what, everyone? It's more bars. It's even funnier too because they actually like make it a little bit quote simpler to do like the evasion stuff in this one. Maybe there's a distinct chance that Melon, Sweet Soul Bro, does in fact explode, or I may have given him a stroke already. Also, fun fact, here's an entire section on car chases. You may be wondering, Notepad, why the fuck is there a car chase section in this game? I don't know. Why is there an anime girl here? Okay. The new intrigue sheet. Honestly, this is actually like infinitely fucking worse than the other one. Because the idea is that it's like you're trying to get your bar up before their bar, or you're trying to do like get yours and then get the other one up. It's like it's kind of weird how they want to do it. It's just like, oh boy, it's an investigate. Oh, you gotta do all these bars. Oh, montage, strategic montages. Oh, it's the same. Because I want you to remember, this is the problem. Like, an investigation scene is the exact same as an argument, which is the exact same as fucking. Oh, sorry, I went too far because I was too busy having a goddamn stroke. Which is the exact same thing as having a montage about strategy. All of these are the exact same thing, according to this game. And it's like, oh, okay, that's not quite how it works, but all right. But don't worry, it's here. Welcome to strategy. Okay, so here's our diverse set of characters, which is a black man with an AK-47, white dude, white girl, white dude. Very diverse, as you can tell. But see, like, can I play him? I want to play this dude, like old grizzled man who looks like he's like ex-cop. I want to play Barry from Half-Life. Like, I'd be down with that. Like, oh boy, here's more coin trackers. Yeah. Because there's more. Literally, that's like the night. At the end of the day, this is like 90% of this game. At the end of the day, it's trackers and like, oh boy, look everyone, subroutines are offline now. Oh boy, guess we're tracking. Oh, we're tracking that down. Opa. Oh wow, look, they actually fixed these. Oh no. Yeah, okay. They actually fix these, so it's actually not absolutely fucking terrible. So you can't use dark money to individually buy off getting shot, or use vanguards to or just add that, like add damage by having your brave communist supporters sabotage guns in the map with. Yeah, that's yeah, here's this. It's like, oh boy, IOPS. It's like the here's all the oh god, you can trigger fucking oh oh boy. There's some more upgrades and ordnance points. You also get this. I hate this page. I don't. This page means nothing. But he had to. Can I draw a penis on it or something? Now, here's another cool thing that I actually like. Block wars. This is cool. It's pretty much like, oh hey, let's take a city. That's the entire idea. Like, oh hey, we start here and we have to fight our way to you know, to the other side. That's the entire idea. You're fighting block to block. That's cool. I like it. But it gets, guess what? It's more bars. It's always more bars. Because like, oh, cool, like, hey, this is kind of neat. Like, I actually kind of like this, and this is actually kind of how I structured uh, city fights in Hearts of Darkness. Because city, like, urban combat is hard. Urban combat sucks. Like, in any situation. And I wanted to get the opinion, I want to get the feeling across of you have to fight from every step of the way. And even if you're an internal, if you're fighting at the heart of the city, it's you gotta hold them back every step of the way, because it's a bitch. People are gonna die. Your city is gonna get destroyed. But it's every boy. Yeah, it's like, oh. Here's, it's like, oh, capture. And it's like, again, this would be like a cool board game. Like, oh, hey, like, we've got a... just turns around dramatically. Hello, Mr. Bond. Like, my God, he's filling up as we speak. Colonel, I need help. How do I reduce the bar? It's just like, oh, cool, like, and this is actually kind of neat. I actually really like this section. It's just like, oh, okay, let's actually have strategy. What do we do? All right, well, we've secured this area. Oh, well, we can unite Hyde Park and LAX, but we gotta take it, and that's gonna be hard. Or we can move up to Skid Row and try to seize downtown and cut off. There's stuff here. Come on, guys. But it doesn't want to give you that, and that's the part that always kind of bamboozles my brain. I'm like, why is this here? Like that's the kind of the thing that always bamboozles me more than anything. Is why was this made? Why was Block Wars made? When you can cut this entire section out. You can cut, let's see, how many sections of, okay, you can cut, it's from 133 to, God, this will be 149. That's effectively about 15 pages. You can cut that out and lose nothing. You can lose nothing from this game. You didn't need this. So why not take that time to do something else? I know, wacky, right? But no, they made Block Wars, which again I like. The Block Wars isn't. And here's the official character sheet. You also notice, let me just zoom in real fast. See that? Yeah, that's not supposed to be here. Fun fact. It's like, okay, here's all your characters. Here's everything. Here's your coin trackers. Here's all your combat sheets. Like, good God, I don't even know how someone actually would fucking play this on the table. Jesus Christ. Think about if you had to print all of these out. God, that would kill a printer. Jesus. Like, all right, everyone, I want to run more than one combat this session. Guess I gotta print out 5 of these sheets. Oh, no! So, one of the things about Repeat the Signal that I want to kind of emphasize is everything that we went over on Repeat the Signal, I want you to take that and cut it from the main book. Just surgically cut it. And it's weird, because when you realize it, you realize that this is a second edition, but They didn't put any of the lore in. They didn't put any of the details in. They didn't put any of the little stuff in because you're already supposed to know about that. Because you already bought the first book. See the wackiness of this. See the wiki wacky bit and piece of this when you realize that this game that he's charging $15 for is a second edition that you need the first edition to fucking play. It'd be like if you bought D&D 5th edition and then it was like, sorry, you gotta buy 4th edition to understand what's going on. And did you buy the other source books for it? Sorry. Well, now, loser. So, let's close out of that. Let's just take it as kind of closing thoughts. So, let me see. Let me see actually my favorite. So, repeat the signal. Where is this? Oh yeah, this is like the only sane human being in here. It's like, hey, like, that's kind of fucked. But he's just like, wow, it's, oh, the core book was only $25, so you reduce it by a whole $5. Yeah, and then yeah. And everyone, RTS is a source book, not a standalone game. Yeah, Chad's also... You're seeing the issue with this line right here. That's a source book. Everything we went over. Not a source book anymore. That's our second edition. Okay, so let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. Let's decompress. We've been doing this for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Let's think about something at a broad angle. Is Sigmata good? No. Is Repeat the Signal good? No. However, are there parts of this game that I like? Yes. I would say, taken in chunks, I love Sigmata. Odd thing to say. And what I mean by taken in chunks, that if you take the coin stuff, awesome, that's pretty cool. If you take the cybernetic super soldier part, that's neat, I like it. If you take the narrativist superhero game, alright, neat, I like it. If you take the really crunchy, combat insurgent game, I like it, and it's neat. The problem is that it's merged together. You end up with a game that's confused. It's trying to be a lot of different things at once without doing anything of the above. In an effort to make sure characters have personality, you've taken it away from them. Because you all have to be the exact same kind of person. You have to role play out your personality without giving them any noticeable differences. Or how the entire game can be summarized as, I'm going to increase your bar, no you. Which, that's fine if it's like a narrativist game. If that was combat in like a very narrative-focused game, cool, that's fine, because that's the point. It's a narrative. You're not supposed to get into these fights. You're supposed to role-play it out, bro. Or it's you have methods to fix your issues. With this game, you don't, because you gotta worry about, hey, do I have all my abilities in order so I can reduce it? Because there are good builds in this game. There are, and that was one of the issues that he ran into, actually, was that people found builds. People found the right build. People found the wrong build. People found builds that were supposed to be the way to win. You could just surge and immediately beat an opponent because you just got all the right abilities. Like, oh, sorry, okay, I win. Tank dead. Oh no, an APC that filled with Freedom Fist sold net. No, sorry, I over-optimized. And he's like, oh, well, I'll change it. And then he released this, which is a second edition, which doesn't have anything actually, no, I'll take that back. He does have things he promised in it. But it's a second edition that was a source book. It's marketing itself as a source book. It's like, oh, hey, it'd be like if fucking D&D came with 5th edition and then sold you the fucking, Monster Manual sold you the Monster Manual section of the books in second, being like, oh, it's just an expansion. You don't need it to play. Being like, yeah, you fucking do. Being like, but just follow the rules, bro. But I think here, let me pull up my my overall thesis about this entire thing. So let's see. RTS is both a second edition and a random Sigmata's confusing systems, but is also sold separately. Repeat the Signal seems more like Mr. Walker trying to absolve himself of any of the sins of Sigmata without actually caring about the details of such. Repeat the Signal is a better The Signal kills fascists, but again, he's charging money for literal propaganda, as well as a product that doesn't kind of work on its own. So it's not a source book, but it's also not a second edition. I think my overall opinion of Sigmata in general, of the system in general, is that I wish someone else did it. I wish another company, another person, someone who cared about this game made it. Because there are bits and pieces I like. And I want to like it. I want to love Sigmata. And if you've noticed the entire time, I've tried my best to not bring up their politics. It bleeds through because it's in the game. But I try not to bring up the politics of it. Of how things are. It's just exactly what it's... But it's... Because ultimately speaking, you don't even need to worry about that. It's a fact in it. It's not a point of it. Because if you strip away everything in Sigmata, you get a confused game. Strip away all the lore, strip away all the issues, you end up with a confused game that doesn't quite know what it wants to be. And I think in the hands of someone who cared, I think you could actually make a good game out of it. I think you could make a game about things that people care. Exactly, it's a schizophrenic creation. It wants to be many things at once without being any one. I don't know if they're just Mr. Walker was just afraid to commit, or he just overthought it a little bit. But there are parts of this game I love, but like a chocolate dipped potato, I like potatoes. I like chocolate. I don't like chocolate dipped potatoes exactly. It's like, oh boy, I'm having a peanut butter and saltine sandwich. So it's like, yay, no, I don't want that. Fuck that. You get a bunch of things that are actually interesting, and then you combine them together to form something that isn't interesting. You'll find something that kind of damages itself. And that sucks. Because I like it. There's a reason I wrote Soldat Sans Identité as a kind of an answer to this game. With Soldat Sans Identité about being a superpowered cyborg super soldier about being cool. And Hearts of Darkness is a game about leading an ethical, not really an ethical, but an insurgency. And straddling the line between when do you stop being ethical? When do you stop being the good guys and start being the winners? And I think the main issue with this game is that it doesn't want to commit to anything. It's scared to commit to anything. If I were to make an analogy to a human being, it's... You remember that kid when you were young? The one kid that everyone liked. You like he's a good kid, really nice. But you met his parents, and his parents were assholes. And he didn't like being around his parents, but it was kind of that, like, oh, you want to hang out at my house again? Cool. Oh, your parents are coming over to pick you up? Fuck. Sigmata is like that kid. The one with the really weird fundamentalist parents that you must believe what I believe, because if you don't, you're going to hell, and just treats them like shit. And it sucks because honestly, there's a good gem under here. It's not like some games I've looked over to me like, it's irredeemable. There's nothing of value to find in here, really. But I liked it. I mean, there's more here to use than social justice warrior turtles. Social justice warrior turtles, you can argue, is the same thing as this. Fight the fascists, blah, blah, blah. But social justice warrior turtles also had a charm to it that was kind of hard to escape. It was kind of that old Saturday morning cartoon ridiculousness to it. And it knew what it was. It was a light game about playing, and it was supposed to get kids kind of in it. Alright, you know what? Fine, fuck it. I like it. Over the more games I look at, the more I realize Social Justice Warrior Turtles was a fine game. It's just that Sigmata, I think, hurts itself by being associated with Mr. Walker. And I think, ultimately speaking, I would like to see someone take Sigmata and make its own thing with it. I thought about doing something like it. Honestly, I did. But I think the problem is you would need to go back to stage 1 and start over completely. You can't really just raw dog it and go. That's impossible. Because it's so embedded in its own systems. It's like, oh, you gotta manage your signal strength. Oh, you gotta manage the coin trackers. You gotta manage the combat trackers. You gotta manage your intrigue trackers. You gotta manage your evasion trackers. You gotta manage all these fucking trackers. I'm just like, no, remove that. Remove it. You don't need it. Players enjoy themselves. Let me use my laser breath to disintegrate someone. Let me teleport in the TV to punch someone in the face. Let me do something like that. Let me be a cybernetic super soldier. Or say fuck it to the whole cybernetic thing. Fuck it, run an American Insurgency game. There is a game there. There's something interesting. How do you run an insurgency? Who wins? Who dies? And then that's what I wanted to do with Hearts of Darkness, arguably. Is I wanted to make it a game about the nature of conflict. About how people fall to sin, effectively. How people fuck up. How we do things that I never do this, that quickly becomes I might do this, to I have to do this. And then you start asking yourself, why did I do it? Did I need money? No, well, I need money now, because I've been funding myself off my crimes, and it's like, shit, and I want to get that interpretation, but it's not committed to it. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for watching. This will most likely get uploaded, I'm hoping, by Monday, if things go according to plan, to YouTube. So, overall, I think things are going pretty alright. On Monday, we will probably begin the initial bits of Project Goblin. So tune in if you're interested in my philosophical ranting on the nature of monsters. And from there, we'll start. My goal is to get done with the Goblin by the end of the year, and start the Christmas and start 2021 off by doing alternating Redux projects and new projects. We may be able to get the initial list of things to do in, but we'll see how things go. Godspeed, good luck, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will catch you on the flip side. Sayonara, if I can hit